Hello everyone, this is the third video on video series of organ function test. In today's video, we will discuss liver function test. To download lecture notes and other interesting stuff related to biochemistry, please visit website biochemistrybasics.com. Before going in the detail of liver function test, first we will discuss what are the various important functions of liver. First important function of liver is metabolic function. In metabolic function, first one is carbohydrate metabolism. Various important metabolic pathways of carbohydrate metabolism like glycolysis, glycogen synthesis and its breakdown, gluconeogenesis and HMP shunt pathway are occurring in the liver. Second important metabolic function is lipid metabolism. Various important metabolic pathways of lipid metabolism like fatty acid synthesis, ketone body synthesis, cholesterol synthesis and its excretion, bile acid synthesis and 25-hydroxylation of vitamin D and synthesis of lipoproteins are occurring in the liver. Protein metabolism, detoxification of toxic ammonia to the non-toxic urea, synthesis of various plasma proteins except immunoglobulins and synthesis of some coagulation factors are occurring in the liver. And the last important metabolic function is hormone metabolism, and in that metabolism and excretion of steroid hormones and metabolism of peptide hormones. So that is the first important function of liver, that is metabolic function. Second important function of liver is synthesis function. In that synthesis of plasma proteins, protein factors, cholesterol, triacylglycerol and lipoproteins. Third important function of liver is excretory function. In that excretion of bile pigments including bilirubin and bile salts into the bile. Fourth important function is detoxification. In that detoxification of toxic ammonia into the non-toxic urea, drugs and other xenobiotics are detoxified and excreted by the help of liver. Fifth important function is regulation of blood glucose level by hepatic glycogenolysis, that is breakdown of glycogen, and gluconeogenesis, that is synthesis of new glucose from non-carbohydrate sources. And the last and another important function of liver is storage function. Liver stores glycogen, fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, K, water-soluble vitamin, vitamin B12 and iron. So these are the various important functions of liver. Laboratory tests for the evaluation of liver diseases are based in part on evaluation of these normal functions of the liver. Function tests are the tests which are carried out to assess whether particular organ is functioning normally or not. And the liver function test is the group of tests which help in the diagnosis, assessing prognosis and monitoring therapy. Now, what are the various indications for the liver function test? So the first and important indication for prescribing liver function test is the case of jaundice. Second one is suspected liver metastasis. Third one is alcoholic liver disease. Fourth one is in any undiagnosed chronic illness. Fifth one is annual checkup of diabetic patients. Sixth one is coagulation disorders. And the last one is therapy with statins to check hepatotoxicity. So these are the various indications of liver function test. Now, liver function test is classified into 5 classes according to the function of the liver. And in that, first class is test based on excretory function. And in that, first one is estimation of serum bilirubin. Second one is urine bilirubin. Third one is urine bile salt. And the last one is bromosulfothalin dye test. In the bromosulfothalin dye test, 5% of BSP dye is injected intravenously. The sample is collected at 45 minutes to see the retention of BSP dye. In the normal person, retention of BSP dye at 45 minutes is less than 5%, but in hepatic diseases, this retention is increased. Other tests we will discuss in detail in next slide. Second category is test based on detoxification function. In that, first one is estimation of blood ammonia and bilirubin. The second one is hippuric acid test. Hippuric acid test is the test based on the detoxification function. Benzoic acid is conjugated with glycine to form a hippuric acid, and this hippuric acid is excreted in urine. Third category is test based on synthetic function. In that, first one is estimation of plasma protein, albumin and globulin, estimation of prothrombin time. Fourth category is test based on metabolic function, and in that, first one is galactose tolerance test. Galactose is exclusively metabolized by liver and it gets converted to the glucose. But in hepatic dysfunction, this metabolic capacity of liver is decreased. That is the first test based on metabolic function. Second one is determination of serum cholesterol and ratio of free to esterified cholesterol. Third one is estimation of serum protein. And the fourth one is serum ammonia estimation. So that is the fourth class or fourth category. Fifth class is determination of serum enzymes. In that, first one is estimation of serum ALT level. Second one is estimation of serum AST level. And the third one is estimation of serum ALP level, that is alkaline phosphatase. Estimation of serum ALT and serum AST level is done when there is a hepatocellular damage, and the estimation of serum ALP is done when there is a cholestasis, that is obstructive liver disease. There are some special tests which are done for the assessing functional capacity of liver. In that, first one is ceruloplasmin, second one is ferritin and iron, third one is alpha-1 antitrypsin, fourth one is beta-2 microglobulin. Ceruloplasmin, ferritin, alpha-1 antitrypsin, beta-2 microglobulin are the example of plasma proteins. The last special test is alpha-fetoprotein. Alpha-fetoprotein is the normal component of the fetal blood. It disappeared from the blood within few weeks after the birth, and it is one of the tumor marker. Its level is increased in hepatocellular carcinoma and germ cell tumor. So these are the special tests included in liver function test. Now first we will see liver function test based on excretory function, and in that, first one is test based on bilirubin metabolism. So bilirubin is the excretory end product of heme. So we can say that bilirubin is the end product of heme catabolism, and it is conjugated in the liver to form bilirubin diglucuronide. Bilirubin is insoluble in water, but bilirubin diglucuronide is soluble in water. This is the picture of bilirubin metabolism. As we have discussed, bilirubin is the end product of heme catabolism. As such, this bilirubin is water insoluble. And to make it water soluble, there is a conjugation which occurs in the liver with the help of glucuronic acid, which leads to the synthesis of bilirubin diglucuronide. And this bilirubin diglucuronide is excreted in the bile, and from the bile it enters into the small intestine. And in the intestine, it is reduced by intestinal bacteria to the urobilinogen. So this is the picture of bilirubin metabolism. Now bilirubin exists in the serum in two forms. First one is conjugated or direct bilirubin, which is water soluble. And the second one is unconjugated or indirect bilirubin, which is water insoluble. The normal concentration of total bilirubin is 0.221 milligram per deciliter. Normal concentration of direct bilirubin is 0.1 to 0.4 milligram per deciliter, and the normal concentration of indirect serum bilirubin is 0.2 to 0.7 milligram per deciliter. Now serum bilirubin estimation by van den Bergh reaction. In this reaction, when serum bilirubin is allowed to react with van den Bergh's diazo reagent, which contains sulfanilic acid and sodium nitrite in hydrochloric acid, a purple colored isobilirubin is formed. Conjugated bilirubin, being water soluble, can react directly with aqueous solution of diazo reagent, and it gives reaction directly positive. That's why it is called as a direct bilirubin. That's why this conjugated bilirubin is called as a direct bilirubin. Whereas the unconjugated bilirubin is water insoluble and it doesn't react in aqueous solution. it requires addition of methyl alcohol to react with diazo reagent. That's why it gives reaction indirectly positive. That's why this unconjugated bilirubin is called as a indirect bilirubin. And when unconjugated and conjugated bilirubin both are present in the solution, a purple color is produced immediately and the color is intensified on addition of alcohol, and that reaction is called as a biphasic reaction. Now clinical interpretation. So increase in serum bilirubin occurs due to many causes and it results in jaundice. Estimation of direct and indirect bilirubin is useful for the differential diagnosis of various jaundice. Bilirubin metabolism is dearranged in three important diseases. First one is hemolytic jaundice, that is prehepatic jaundice. Second one is hepatitis, that is hepatic jaundice. And the third one is obstructive jaundice, that is post-hepatic jaundice. In hemolytic jaundice, as unconjugated bilirubin is increased, so the Van den Berg test is indirect positive. While in obstructive jaundice, conjugated bilirubin is elevated, so the Van den Berg test is direct positive. While in hepatic jaundice, both conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin are increased, hence biphasic reaction is observed. So in hemolytic jaundice, Van den Berg test is indirect positive. In obstructive jaundice, Van den Berg test is direct positive, while in hepatic jaundice, biphasic reaction is seen. Now urine bilirubin. In normal individuals, bilirubin is not excreted in urine. When it is present in urine, it indicates some disease of liver. Only conjugated bilirubin is soluble in water and it is excreted in urine, but not the unconjugated, which is water insoluble. In urine, conjugated bilirubin can be detected by Fauchett's test. Clinical interpretation of urine bilirubin test. So conjugated bilirubin appears in the urine in patients of obstructive and hepatic jaundice. In hemolytic jaundice, unconjugated bilirubin is increased in blood, so it doesn't appear in urine. Now urobilinogen in urine. The amount of urobilinogen present in urine depends on the amount of bilirubin which is entering in the intestine. Urine urobilinogen is estimated semi-quantitatively by Ehrlich's RDI reagent. Clinical interpretation of urine urobilinogen. Normally, trace amount of urobilinogen are present in the urine. It increases in hemolytic jaundice due to excess production of bilirubin. In hepatitis, urobilinogen in urine may be normal or decreased. While in obstructive jaundice, due to the complete or almost complete biliary obstruction, no urobilinogen is found in urine because bilirubin is unable to enter the intestine. This is the table showing the serum and urine bilirubin in normal as well as in the jaundice patient. So normal concentration of conjugated bilirubin is 0.1 to 0.4 milligram per deciliter, and the normal concentration of unconjugated bilirubin is 0.2 to 0.7 milligram per deciliter. The normal concentration of urine urobilinogen is 0.4 milligram per 24 hours. And normally urine bilirubin is absent. Now in hemolytic jaundice, conjugated bilirubin is normal, but there is an increased level of unconjugated bilirubin, and there is also increased level of urine urobilinogen, while urine bilirubin is absent in case of hepatic jaundice. In hepatic jaundice or in hepatitis, both conjugated and unconjugated bilirubins are increased, but urine urobilinogen is normal or decreased if micro-obstruction to the bile duct are present. And the urine bilirubin is also present in case of hepatic jaundice if micro-obstruction to the bile ducts are present. In obstructive jaundice or in post-hepatic jaundice, the conjugated bilirubin is increased while unconjugated bilirubin is normal, and urine urobilinogen is absent in case of obstructive jaundice, while urine bilirubin is present. Now, test based on detoxification function, that is determination of blood ammonia. Liver detoxificates ammonia to form urea. So in liver disease, ability to remove ammonia may be impaired. Normal blood level of ammonia is 40 to 70 milligram per 100 ml of blood. Clinical interpretation of estimation of blood ammonia. High blood levels of ammonia are found in acute hepatitis and in cirrhosis. Now test based on synthetic function. It is determination of serum albumin and globulin. The normal concentration of serum proteins are, normal level of total protein is 6 to 8 gram per deciliter. Normal concentration of serum albumin is 3.5 to 5.5 gram per deciliter. Serum globulin normal level is 2 to 3.5 gram per deciliter. The normal level of Ag ratio is 1.2 is to 1 to 1.6 is to 1. So these are the normal ranges of various serum proteins. Now clinical interpretation. So hypoalbuminemia, that is reduced albumin concentration, may occur in hepatocellular disease, that is in cirrhosis. In the hyperglobulinemia, that is increased level of globulin, may occur in cirrhosis as well as in infectious hepatitis. And in advanced stage of liver disease, albumin is decreased and globulins are increased, so that Ag ratio may be reversed. The reversal of Ag ratio may be seen in condition where the albumins are low and globulins are abnormally high, as seen in multiple myeloma. The concentration of total globulins increases due to rise in gamma globulins, and these gamma globulins are synthesized by reticuloendothelial system and not by the liver, to compensate for the possible fall in the alpha globulins by the liver. So reversal of Ag ratio is often the first investigation that raises the suspicion of multiple myeloma. So this thing one has to keep in their mind. Reversal of the Ag ratio is often the first investigation that raises the suspicion of multiple myeloma. Now determination of prothrombin time. So various proteins that participate in the blood coagulation are synthesized by the liver. Examples are fibrinogen, prothrombin, that is factor 2, and factor 5, 7, 9 and 10. So if any of these factors is deficient, the deficiency causes the prolonged prothrombin time. So in liver diseases as well as in the vitamin K deficiency, there is a prolonged prothrombin time. Now tests related to the enzymes in the diagnosis of liver diseases. So liver cells contain several enzymes, and in liver damage, these enzymes are released into the blood and levels of this enzyme increases in the blood. Most commonly and routinely enzymes used in the diagnosis of liver diseases are, first one is estimation of serum AST, second one is estimation of serum ALT, the third one is estimation of serum AL. Other enzymes which have been found to be useful but not routinely done in the laboratory are, first one is serum nucleotidase, which is also increased in obstructive liver diseases. Second one is lactate dehydrogenase, that is LDH. Third one is isocitrate dehydrogenase. The last one is gamma glutamate transferase. Gamma glutamate transferase level is increased in chronic alcoholism, and the normal level of gamma glutamate transferase is 10 to 40 international unit per liter. So gamma glutamate transferase is the test which is done to see whether alcohol abuse is there or not. Now serum transaminases. So aspartate transaminase, which is previously called as a serum glutamate oxaloacetate transaminases, and the alanine transaminases, which is previously called as a serum glutamate pyruvate transaminase. And the normal range for these enzymes are Normal level of AST or SGOT is 4 to 17 international unit per liter, and the normal level of ALT or SGPT is 3 to 15 international unit per liter. Although both AST and ALT are commonly thought as a liver enzymes because of their higher concentration in liver, only ALT is specific for the liver. Since AST is widely present in myocardium, skeletal muscle, brain and kidney, and it may rise in acute necrosis of these organs besides the liver cell injury. So ALT is specific for the liver. Now AST is greater than ALT in alcoholic liver diseases. In alcoholic liver diseases, the actual values show only mild elevation, but ratio of AST to ALT is more than 2 is quite suggestive of alcoholic liver disease. Normal ratio of AST to ALT is 0.8. Moderate elevation of aminotransperases, often between 100 to 300 unit per liter, is seen in alcoholic hepatitis, autoimmune hepatitis, Wilson disease, and non-alcoholic chronic hepatitis. And the minor elevation less than 100 unit per liter is seen in chronic viral hepatitis, that is hepatitis C, fatty liver, and in non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. So clinical significance of AST to ALT ratio. So normal AST to ALT ratio is 0.8, but the ratio greater than 2 is seen in alcoholic hepatitis, hepatitis with cirrhosis, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, liver metastasis, myocardial infarction, and erythromycin treatment. And higher ALT as compared to AST is seen in acute hepatocellular injury, toxic exposure, and extrahepatic obstruction. Now, clinical interpretation of estimation of serum transaminases. So, ALT estimation are useful in early diagnosis to evaluate severity and prognosis of liver diseases. In hepatitis, the level of both enzymes, that is ALT and AST, are increased, which go in 1000 units, that is around 500 to 1500 international unit per liter. In obstructive jaundice, increase occurs but usually doesn't go beyond the 300 international unit per liter. And in hemolytic jaundice, the level of this AST and ALT are normal. So in hepatitis, the increased level is seen beyond in between the range of 500 to 1500 international unit per liter. In the obstructive jaundice, there is an increase, but it doesn't go beyond the 300 international unit per liter. While in hemolytic jaundice, there is no increase in the level of ALT and ASTs. Second enzyme is alkaline phosphatase. Alkaline phosphatase is produced by many tissues, especially bone, liver, intestine, and placenta, and it is excreted in bile. Elevation in the activity of ALP enzyme can be found in various diseases of bone, liver, and in pregnancy. So in the absence of bone diseases and pregnancy, if there is an increased level of ALP, that is generally due to the hepatobiliary disease. And the normal level of ALP in the plasma is 3 to 13 Ka units per 100 ml. Ka stands for King Armstrong unit. And there are 6 isoenzymes of ALP. The one which is inhibited by phenylalanine is of placental origin, and it is found in blood in normal pregnancy. An isoenzyme closely resembling the placental form is characteristically seen in circulation in about 15% cases of carcinoma of lung, liver and gut, and it is named as Regan isoenzyme or carcinoplacental isoenzyme. Clinical interpretation of estimation of serum ALP level. So serum alkaline phosphatase activity is elevated in obstructive jaundice. The enzyme ALP is normally excreted through bile, and the obstruction to the flow of bile causes regurgitation of this enzyme into the blood, resulting in a resulting in increased serum concentration. And the slight to moderate increase is seen in hepatitis and cirrhosis, and the normal serum ALP values are found in hemolytic jaundice. And the high activity of serum ALP is also seen in various bone diseases like Paget disease, rickets, metastasis to the bone, and various carcinoma of bone like osteosarcoma and osteomalacia. This is the table showing the enzyme assay in different types of jaundice. As we have discussed that ALT and AST level are normal in hemolytic jaundice, they are markedly increased within the range of 500 to 1500 international unit per liter in hepatic jaundice, and the level doesn't go beyond the 300 international unit per liter in obstructive jaundice. The ALP level is normal in hemolytic jaundice. It usually increased slightly in hepatocellular jaundice and it markedly increased in obstructive jaundice. Now, algorithm for the diagnosis of liver diseases. So if the ALT or AST is greater than 3 times the normal value and the ALP is less than 2 times the normal value, it is suggestive of hepatocellular disease. And if the albumin level is normal, then it is suggestive of acute hepatitis. And if the albumin level is low, then it is suggestive of chronic hepatitis. If the ALT or AST is less than 3 times the normal value and ALP level is greater than 2 times the normal value, then it is suggestive of cholestatic liver disease, that is obstructive liver disease. And if the albumin level is normal, then it is suggestive of acute cholestasis. And in that, if the gamma glutamate transferase level is high, then it is suggestive of intrahepatic cholestasis or intrahepatic obstruction. If the gamma glutamate transferase increase is mild, then it is suggestive of extrahepatic cholestasis. And if the albumin level is low, then it is suggestive of chronic cholestasis. So this is the algorithm for the diagnosis of various liver diseases based on liver enzyme profile. This is the table showing the normally and frequently done liver function test. So the first one is estimation of serum bilirubin level, which includes total direct and indirect bilirubin. Second one is estimation of serum protein and albumin. Third one is estimation of prothrombin time. Fourth one is estimation of various serum enzymes like estimation of AST level, estimation of ALT level, and estimation of ALP. And the last one is estimation of blood ammonia. So this is all about liver function test. These are my references. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe Biochemistry Basics by Dr. Amit, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you can get all the notifications from it. Thank you.